Okay, last class we have completed static, non-static variable usage, right? Now tell me, hope everybody got clarity on how to work with static variable, how to work with non-static variable. When to create variable as a static, when to create variable as a non-static. When you want to store value common to all objects, then use what? Static variable. When you want to store value specific to one object, we must use what? Non-static variable. Now let me ask a question which you know already. Okay, previously in previous chapters already you discussed. I want to create one method to perform operation called what? Add. This add method, if you want to perform add operation, compulsory require two values or not? Now, int c equal to, directly I'm writing 10 plus 20. Is this program fixed values program or not? You want fixed values? No, I want dynamic values. To take dynamic values, how many ways we have? We have number one, I can take the values as argument from other programmer, take values from keyboard. Now tell me, when I should take values from the keyboard, if it is a main method, if the end user interacting with you, so now void add, what do you have to write here? I want to take value from method caller. Whoever calling this method, I want to take runtime value from him. So what I should do? I should write parameter int a and parameter int b. I have to take two parameters. Tell me now. Data type variable name is called what? It's a variable or not? Where you created this variable in the method parenthesis. If you declare a variable in method parenthesis, then it is called what? Not variable. Don't call it as a variable. You must call it as a parameter. Why should I call it as a parameter? Because to show the difference between variable functionality, variable is meant for what? Storing value. Okay, but parameter is also variable, but it is not meant for storing value. It is meant for what? Receiving value. Receiving value. So because static variable meant for storing, non-static variable meant for storing, parameter is meant for not storing, parameter is meant for what? Receiving value. And inside method body, also I created one more variable called what? Int c. This is a variable, not parameter. This variable is also meant for what? Storing. Then what is the difference between static variable, non-static variable to local variable? Static, non-static variable will store object value. Local variable will store operation value. So class represents what? Class represents what? Object. And then method represents what? Operation. Okay. Now I want to store object value, common value, then use static variable. I want to store object value specific to one object, then I have to use what? Non-static variable. Now I wanted to perform an operation. I want to receive the value to perform operation. Then I should create the variable in the parenthesis, add method parenthesis. That add method parenthesis concept is called what? Parameter. Now, after performing operation, this method generates a result. That result we store inside one variable within the method. Within the method is called what? Local variable. So totally, how many variables we have? 4 variables we have. Number one, static variable for storing value common to all objects. Non-static variable for storing value specific to each object separately. Okay. Then parameter, don't call parameter variable, you should call parameter for storing or receiving. For receiving input, for receiving a value as input for executing this method, Next, local variable for receiving or storing a value specific to this method, or for storing result generated in this method. Okay. So this is the what you call types of variables. And very important, entire Amirpet and also in YouTube, some faculties are saying that we have only 3 types of variables. Okay. Static variable, non-static variable, local variable. But people are not considering parameter as a variable. I don't know why are not feeling parameter is also variable. But according to me, according to Sun Microsystem, according to James Gosling, Java has 4 types of variables: static variable, non-static variable, parameter and local variable. Static, non-static variable for storing value of an object. Parameter and local variable are meant for storing value of an operation. Now I want to write one small program. Tell me, class, I explained you just now, addition program. Okay, let me write one more time. Class addition. Inside this, I am taking a method called what? Add. I'm taking parameter int a comma int b, and now int c equal to a plus b, and then display system dot out dot println of c. So now this is the program I have written. And tell me now, I want to perform addition operation by taking the value as input from the method caller. Now I am creating class calculator, open bracket, public static void main of string array as. Inside main method, I have written addition dot add of. Tell me, add method is having 2 parameters. So I should pass 2 values. What type of values I have to pass? Int type value. I am giving 10 comma 20. Now close this main method and close this class. And tell me, for this program, what is the flow of execution? You know already. Now, by giving these 2 values, means by passing, what is the terminology we have to say? By passing. By passing these 2 values, the add method of which class? Addition class is executed. Control is coming from calc class main method to addition class add method by passing 2 values 10 comma 20. By passing 2 values 10 comma 20. The 2 values 10 comma 20 passed to add method and stored inside where? Parameter A. First parameter receive the 10. Second parameter receive the value 20. Okay. Then logic execution started. In this statement, we have called what? A value read and substitute 10, B value read and substitute 20. Both are added. Result is stored in C. C variable memory created with result 30. Then SOP and C, P output is displayed on the console what? 30. After method logic execution completed, control come back to calling method, add method, main method, calling method, main method. When control come out of this method, the memory allocated inside this method is destroyed. The memory allocated inside this method is destroyed. Array, why this parameter memory is allocated? For executing this method, destroyed. Once method execution is completed, values are not required, the memory will be destroyed. So tell me, what is the lifetime and scope? What is the lifetime and scope of a parameter? What is the lifetime? Lifetime means what? When parameter memory allocated, when method is called. When the parameter is destroyed after method execution completed. After method execution is completed. Tell me, where I can access this variable scope? Scope means what? Where I can access. Where I can access parameter and local variable? Only within the same method. If you try to access in another method, compiler will throw error. For example, I'm writing one small program, class A. Here I'm creating static int A equal to 10, int X equal to 20. And tell me, these two are what variables? Static, non-static variables, which are created inside method or outside method? Outside method. Okay, then can I access inside this method? I'm creating one parameter, int P. Okay, open bracket, and I'm creating one local variable 40, and then inside this method I'm writing system.out.println a system.out.println. I cannot access X variable directly, so I created a class object dot I'm writing X object dot X, and then next I'm accessing non-static variable system.out.println parameter variable system.out.println. Okay. So system.out.println p, system.out.println q. Okay. Close this method. And then system.out, another method I'm creating, void m2. Inside this method, I'm accessing a, x, p, and q. Space problem, just I have written. Same logic, same these four statements I have repeated again inside m2 method. Now tell me now, which line is compiled and which line is not compiled? Tell me, within the class, these variables are belongs to what class? Then can I access these two variables inside first method, also inside second method? Yes. So there is no problem for static variable and non-static variable. I can access in all methods available in the current class. How? Static variable by using directly its name, non-static variable by using object, non-static variable by using object. How to access parameter and local variable? Parameter and local variable belongs to what? Parameter and local variable belongs to current method. Then where I can access these two variables? Only within the method only. If you try to access in another method, compiler will throw error. Within the same method I can access, in another method I cannot access. So what is the lifetime and scope of a local variable and parameter? Parameter memory, local variable memory allocated, get the memory only when we call this method. When we call this method, control will go into this method. Immediately parameter memory allocated, local variable memory allocated. After method execution completed, control calling, coming back to calling method, the memory allocated for parameter, memory allocated, local variable destroyed. Then when I call m2 method, control come to m2 method. Is p and q variable memory available to m2 method to access? No. That's why we will get error here. But still, static, non-static variables are available for both m1 and m2 method. So finally, what is the important point? Static variable can be accessible in all methods. In all methods. Okay. Non-static variable can be accessible in all methods. In all methods, but with the conditions apply. What the conditions apply? By using object, parameter, and parameter and local variable can be accessible only in one method in which they have declared. This is an important rule you should remember. So with this, we have understood variable and types of variables. Repeat again. Totally. How many types of variables we have in Java? 4 types of variables. Very, very important. According to Sun Microsystem, we have 4 types of variables. Confusion is there. Okay. You have to give the full answer. How many types of variables? You should say 2 answers. Based on type, based on data types, we have 2 types of variables. What are the 2 types of variables? Primitive data type variable. Number 2, referenced data type variable. Okay. Next, based on the place we declare, we have 2 types of 4 types of 4 types of variables. Actually, 2 types of 4 types of variables. Number 1, static variable. Number 2, non-static variable. Number 3, parameter. And number 4, local variable. Very, don't stop telling. You should continue. Static, non-static variables are class level variables, means they created inside the class. Parameter and local variables are method level variables, means they created inside the method. Okay. All four variables can be either primitive type or reference type variables based on the type of value and based on type of the value and type of object to store. Okay, this is the complete answer you must tell to the interviewer. If they ask how many types of variables, either your hostel friends ask or interview ask, tell me how many types of variable Java support. First you smile because it's a controversial question. Which answer the interviewers know, we don't know. Because he may be HK product or not HK product, we don't know. What answer he consider, we don't know. That's why what you answer? First smile. When you smile, first you will be shocked. Why you are smiling? Okay? Why you are smiling, you will be shocked. In the shock, you say, yeah, based on the data type, we have 2 types of variables. Primitive variable, reference variable. Primitive variable for storing one mathematical value. Reference variable meant for storing one object reference. Now the primitive or referenced variable again divided into 4 types based on the place we declare. Now static variable, non-static variable, parameter, local variable. Static, non-static variables are class level variables. Parameter and local variable are method level variable. Static, non-static variable are used for storing object value. Method, parameter and local variable are used for storing operation value. Okay, so like this elaborate explanation you must give. Now I wanted to write one more program for you. Okay, object oriented program. Class addition is mathematical program. Now in Java, every concept you have to learn with the 2 examples. Okay, one is mathematics, one is object oriented. Now I'm taking object oriented program bank account. Tell me bank account. Here I am creating one variable called double balance. Now I wanted to deposit money in the balance variable. Tell me, okay, first let me take one static, non-static variable for static string, bank name. Bank name is static variable because common to all accounts. Next, double balance. Balance variable is what? Non-static because to store separately for each account. Then next, I am creating one method deposit because I want to perform deposit operation in the account. Sir, you didn't teach method. Already you learn how to perform add operation. Same way perform deposit operation. Tell me to deposit, I need the amount as the argument now. How much you want to deposit? 5,000 or 10,000. When you go to the ATM, when you choose deposit, it is asking how much money you want to deposit. How much money? Double amount. And tell me what the logic you write? Adding 2 numbers. Balance equal to balance plus amount. Right? Tell me, is there any local variable used in this method deposit? No. Is there any parameter used in this method? Yes. What the parameter? Amount. Why you use parameter? Because I have to take input to perform deposit operation. Super. Next, now I am writing second method. Void withdraw. Tell me, for perform withdraw operation also ATM is asking how much money you want to withdraw. Na? So you have to give input. And what logic you write? Balance equal to balance minus amount. Balance equal to balance minus amount. And then close this. You know, in every quarter or every yearly, you will get interest. Okay. How much interest will you get? Pay interest. Okay, pay interest of. And tell me, to pay interest, is there any argument, is parameter required? No. Then what is required here? Local variable. Double interest equal to. What is the formula for interest? PTR by 100. What is P? Percentage. How much percentage? 4%. 4. Into T and time. Time means 1 year. 1 year means 12 months. Into 1 year, na? 1 P for principal. Principal means what? Total amount. Total amount, how much available, right? This quarter totally. Sorry, balance, let me take, okay? Balance into time. Time means what? 1 year, 3 years, okay, 3 months. Into rate of interest 4%. Okay, PTR by 100 by 100 by 100. Okay, now system dot out dot println interest paid, double quotes, paid as interest. Pitch formula, okay? Maybe that's a wrong statement, but my target is, formula may be wrong, but my target is giving an idea on what? How to use the variables, that's it. Okay, I have to work on it. You have to, not I, okay? You have to work on it. Now tell me now. Here I require input, so parameter. Here I require input, so parameter. Here I have to store result. That's why what? Local variable. I have to store bank name, branch name for all methods commonly. So class level variables. So you should have full clarity on when to use which variable. Just I have taken one small example for you. Hope you all understand. One more example, let us try. Tell me now. Class rectangle. Maths plus object oriented program. Rectangle. And tell me, rectangle contains length and breadth, na? Double length. Next, double breadth. Next, I want to find area of the rectangle. What right? Find area. Does it require any input? No. The values are available in the class level variable L and B, open bracket. What is the formula? L into B. Tell me, this L into B, I have to generate the result stored in a one variable now. What is right? Double area equal to L into B. System dot out at println area. Close this method. Next, void perimeter of open bracket. What is right? Double perimeter equal to, what is the formula? 2 into L plus B. Close this method. And write system dot out dot println perimeter. Close this. And tell me now, what is this program? Now I want to store rectangle values, class level variable. I want to store operation result, local variable. I want to store operation result, local variable. So this free flow, fingers free flow, you should get when not by hearting the concept, by having what? Common sense. Once you have common sense, your fingers automatically type. So what you should remember, Java programming language means not formulas. Java programming language means concepts. If you remember concepts, automatically you can write program. Why? To write a program, you required concept plus formulas. Already concept is new, formulas are known where? In maths. From the maths, formulas are coming. Tell me, L into B, it is not Java, it is maths, already know. Right? 2 into L plus B, it is not Java, it is maths, already know. PTR by 100, it is not Java, it is maths. What you don't know? How to write a program, how to write a class, how to create variable, how to create method, how to print the result. Only you don't know these concepts. So for what operation, what concept I have to use? Concept if you master, automatically concept formula is what? Logic. So developing logic is up. Hope you got some idea on variables now, right? And then now observe here. I have uploaded complete chapter. Your whatever I explain here, all points I have uploaded here. You have to practice in your free time. Right? Variable points, program on variables, types of variables, static variable, non-static variable, parameter, and local variable. This is slides. These are the programs. And then summary on types of variables. Okay, if you don't have patience of reading, practicing previous, these are down 4 folders, at least you practice this. Here, all points are summary given with bank account example, just I have explained. Bank account. Static variable, non-static variable, deposit parameter, withdraw parameter, simple interest calculation, PTR by 100. What rate, what time. Okay, na? Local variable. On the available balance. Okay, for the given rate, for the given time. I'm not fixing the rate and time. I'm also taking them from argument. Sir, where is the balance? Balance is class level. Your account balance, on your account balance, we find the simple interest, not compound interest. And then following by what? Double interest. Interest value stored. And return interest. I'm being print, I am returning. Return concept I'll explain. Current balance, it doesn't require any parameter, doesn't require any local variable, just printing the existing balance. So this program and following by main method class also. Okay, initializing static variables common to all objects, creating 2 accounts, and then printing the 2 account values. Static variable values will come for 2 accounts, but non-static variable default value. And we are assigning to default variable and then printing all values. And performing operation, deposit in account 1, current balance. Finding the simple interest of account 1 and printing the interest. 4%, 3 years. 3 years or 1 year. Given 1 means 1 year. Okay. So don't much worry about the logic and output. Worry about concept. So with this, we got clarity on all variables, Java variables and everything. Okay. And then there is a concept called local block. For example, I am creating a method void yum. This method I created a variable int p equal to 10. Now, this variable p I can access till end of the method. I know. I want only this variable only up to this line. After this line, I don't want this p automatically destroy. Then I must create this variable in one scope. Open bracket start here, closed bracket. This is called what? Scope. Scope. Scope means the place where to where you can access. This scope is created by using a concept called what? Block. Tell me, this is what block? Method block. This is what block? Method block. And if I write class A, now this open bracket, closed bracket is what? Class block. Class block. Now within the method, again if I write open bracket, closed bracket, this is called what? Local block. What is the use of local block? For decreasing the scope of local variable and destroying it immediately after usage completed. Here p variable memory created with value 10. After using in these 3 lines, I want to destroy this variable immediately. Then define the scope. That is concept is called what? Local block. Okay. Just a nameless block, open bracket, closed bracket, created inside a method is called what? Local block. It is used for decreasing the scope of the local variable and destroying that variable immediately after usage completed. Then we use what? Local block. So local block related small program I have given here. Please try to refer that material. Observe now, any of you learning JavaScript, in JavaScript, we create variable by using a special concept called what? Var. where x equal to 10, okay? Then next, where y equal to 20, like this, you can write, okay? We don't use the data types in JavaScript. We will use a special identifier called what? Special identifier called what? Where. Like JavaScript, from Java 10 version onwards, from Java 10 version onwards, we can create local variable, only local variable, right? We can create local variables by using the special identifier. It is not a keyword, it is a identifier. By using identifier where. How? Where x equal to 10, where y equal to 20.5, where z equal to single quote p. Now tell me here, if I don't use where, what type is this xyz, sir? This type xyz automatically taken from right side assigned value. This variable x, variable y, variable z type is taken from right side assigned value. This concept is called local variable type inference. What is the concept? Local variable type inference. So Java 10 new feature is what? Local variable type inference. Means we can create local variable inside a method without using data type by using special concept called what? Where. Is where a keyword like int, float, double? Is where a keyword? No, it is just a identifier. Like a variable name, it is a identifier. If I use this where in the data type place, it is considered as a data type. Then what is the type of this x? Based on the value you have assigned. What type of value assigned? Int. Then the variable type is what? Int. Here y variable type is what? Double. Here z variable type is what? Char. Based on the value you have assigned. Now tell me, can I create a variable p semicolon without assigning any value? No. Compiler throw error. Why? Array, the variable p type is decided based on the assigned value. Na? If you create a variable without assignment by using where, if you create variable by using where, and if you don't assign, compiler throw error because the variable type is not decided. Okay, can I write where some x equal to, where x equal to null? Tell me, can I write where x equal to null? Again, it leads to compile time error. Why? Tell me, null is of which type? Any reference type, right? Any reference type. Then x type can be decided or cannot be decided? Cannot be decided. That's why compiler throw error. If you want to create a variable by using where, you have two rules are there. Rule number one, the variable must be initialized in the declaration. Next, rule number two, the assigned value. Rule number two, the assigned value should have a specific type. And tell me where s equal to double quotes a. Any compile time error? No. Here, what is the type? String. Where e1 equal to, can I write object new example? Yes. No compile error. Here e1 is of what type? Example. Can I write where ia equal to new int of 5? Can I write? Yes. No compile time error. Here what type? Int array type. Everyone tell me, where ia equal to flower bracket 3 comma 4 comma 5? Can I write? No. Why? Now tell me, this array is what type? Byte, shorter, int, longer, double, float, char. Even char also can take number. These 3, 4, 5, just by 3, 4, 5, I cannot decide the type of this array because 3, 4, 5 can be stored in all different type of values. Hence, compiler will throw error. Type is not mentioned. So, if I create array without data type, if we pass null without any cast operator or data type, compiler will throw error. So, this is the basic idea. This point I have given here in Java 10 version. So, you have to spend the time to read all these programs. Now, please read this folder and practice this example by your own. Just now I have explained bank account and account. Go compile, type enter bank account class at a time. Bank.java line by line compile and execute. Type compile execute. Next type compile and execute. Before trying this example, read the summary of all 4 types of variables and 8 points. Already I dictated notes on 8 points. All points once I have summarized here. please read. Okay. Then with this we completed variable and types of variables. Now I am moving to the next chapter, guys. Very important chapter. Already 50% of this chapter I have explained, just summarizing all points at one place. The chapter is method and types of methods. What the chapter name? Method and types of methods. Just now we completed variable and types of variables. Now we are moving to next chapter, method and types of methods. Online students, are you there? Yeah, all are you following? Now carefully listen. One question I'm asking, expecting everyone to give answer. This program has a identify class. We learn object-oriented programming. As part of object-oriented programming, we have to start, every program starts with what? Class. Class student. Inside class student, I am writing 4 variables. Int student number, string student name, string course, double fee. Close this class. Okay. As per object-oriented programming, choose one object, student. Represent that object by using a class, class student. Just with the class student, can I represent a particular object? No. What to do? I have to create instances. Create instance. Class, college, public, static, void, main of, string array, args, open bracket. What do you write? Student S1 equal to new student. What are you visualizing? By seeing this line, what are you visualizing? Why you have written this statement? To allocate memory to all 4 variables available. What variables? All 4 non-static variables available in the student class. Next, I want to provide one more copy memory. What do you write? Student S2 equal to new student. Tell me, again this new keyword will go to student class, provide memory to these 4 variables again now. One more copy memory provided for all these 4 variables. So sure. I want to print value of the variables. How to write the code? System.out.println s1.snvo. Bolo. If you say, then you'll come to know the problem. If you are listening, you become listener. I want to print values of the object. Tell me, these 4 lines will print which object values? First object. I want to print second object also. What to do? What to do? What to do? Correct. Your statement correct. Tell me confidently what to do. SOPLN. What is the meaning of SOPLN? S2.snvo, S2.sname. Write same code. Yes or no? Different code or same code? Write the same code with the S2 object. That is the statement you have to tell. Tell me what you write. System.out.println S2.snvo. System.out.println S2.sname. System.out.println S2.course. Super. Next. System.out.println S2.fee. What you have written? I have written same code again. When you write same code again, is there any problem? बोलो, is there any problem है? कुछ problem है इधर? हाय क्या problem है? Code redundancy. Same code I am writing again and again. In future, I have introduced one more variable here. then I should write same logic here and here again and again or not? Next, in future, I remove this variable. I made free. No need to pay any fees. Free. Free means what? I should remove this line and this line or not? Tell me, this program is dynamic nature code or static nature code? Why? We are writing same logic repeatedly. If I write same logic repeatedly, then this code is called what? Code redundant or code redundancy. Same code you writing repeatedly. Writing code repeatedly is not considered as code redundancy. In future, if you want to do any changes, I have to do the same changes again and again. Same changes I have to do again and again. Then we call it as what? Code redundancy. As a developer, I can do change. But as a customer, end user, he cannot do change. Then what is the solution to this problem? Very simple. Can I write for loop here? Can I write a for loop? How to write for loop, bro? Tell me. For int I equal to 0, I less than, condition. Sorry, 4 రాసుకుందాం 4 I plus plus I plus plus I plus plus inside what logic I should write? System dot out at println. I can write for loop on array because array variable doesn't have separate name. Array variable has the index number start from 0, increase sequential by 1 by 1. Understand my point? For loop I cannot. We must use static. Where static? Here. Static. Wait, if I use static, how can I store second student values, Ravavu? No static. Clear? So, what I have to do here, I must not write logic repeatedly. I must not write logic repeatedly. I should use a special concept called method. What concept? Method. What is a method? A method is a sequence of statements placed as one block with proper name and return type. What is a method? A method is a sequence of statements placed as a one block. Sequence of statement 1, 2, 3, 4. Placed as a one block with a proper name and return type is called what? Method. We can also define method as a named block. A named block that has sequence of statements. For what purpose? For performing one operation. So, what is a method? A sequence of statements placed as a one block with a proper name and return type is a method. Also can call a named block that has sequence of statements for performing one operation. What the operation? Addition operation, add. Printing operation, print. Find interest operation, find area operation. Okay, which operation you want to perform? Choose name of that operation as a method name. Samajh mein aaya? Whenever you found inside main method, whenever you found same logic repeatedly you are writing, immediately move that logic into one method and call that method from main method. How many times I can call the method? What is the advantage of method? Number one, how many times we write logic? One time we write logic. Okay. Second, how many times we can call and execute? Can call and execute repeatedly as many times as we need. Next, how many times we modify? One time modify. Common to all classes of this project. all classes of this project. For example, I am taking this method as what? Void print or display whatever. Then inside I am printing SNO, SName, course, fee. Okay. Now suddenly one new variable I got. Then what to do? I create how many times SOPLN? One time. Then automatically first time, second time, third time, fourth time, at a different classes we call this method. Then tell me, automatically in all four places, this extra line also executed or not? Next, suppose now the existing variable I remove, then remove this line. When I remove this line, all four places I called already left. Then whatever the changes I am doing in this method, this change automatically applied in all four places or not? Writing logic one time, modifying the logic one time, repeatedly using that logic is called code redundancy or code reusability. Code reusability. So what is the purpose of method? What is a method? What is the purpose of method? First point, what is a method? What is a method? A named block. A named block. A named BLOC, okay, named block. Second, why a method? Why a method? For developing reusable logic for performing one operation. Okay, what is the purpose of method? A method is used for developing what logic, Babu? Reusable logic for performing one operation. Third point. Then, okay, you decided to develop reusable logic. How can we create a method? And tell me, how can I create a method? How can you create a variable? By using data type. How can I create a method? By using a return type and method name. By using return type and method name. So how can I create a variable? Data type, variable name. If you want to create method also, I require a data type. But in Java, in method point of view, you don't call it as a data type. We call it as what? Return type. Return type and method name. Tell me fourth point. What is the full syntax for creating a method? What is the full syntax? Tell me. First one is what? Accessibility modifier. Once you create method inside class, other classes may access or not. I want yellow or I don't want yellow. Then use accessibility modifier. Next, execution level modifier. How you want to call this method? With object or without object? With object, don't declare as static. Without object, declare it as static. The next, return type. Return type. What the return type? Void or maybe data type you can use. Either void or data type. Okay, return type. Following by method name. Method name. What the name of the method? Operation. M1, M2, M3 also you can write for testing purpose. Generally, the name of the method is what? Operation name. Bracket. Many times I told you, when you want to execute method, you require to receive the inputs. The inputs are called what? Parameters list. Parameters list. Tell me, if the given parameter is wrong, I should sit silently or throw error? Throw error. How can I throw error? By using throws keyword. Error is called what? Exception list. Exception list. Open bracket, open bracket, open bracket. You can write open bracket in the same line or in the next line. For the time being, I am taking the next line. And then following by, interline what you write? Dash o, dash o, dash o. This is what? Logic. Logic. And then sequence of statements I placed. Sequence of statements I placed. Then close this bracket. So what is the syntax for creating a method? The method creation syntax is accessibility modifier, execution level modifier, return type, method name, parameter list, method name, parameter list, throws, exception list, open bracket, closed bracket, logic. Carefully observe, very, very important. Every method is divided into two parts, buddy. This is the talakai, this is a modem. Okay, this is a head and this is what? Body. This head portion is technically called prototype. This head portion is technically called prototype. And this open bracket, closed bracket region is called what? Body. Statements placed inside the method. These are what? Statements. Statements placed inside method is called what? Logic. I repeat again. What is the prototype? The head portion of the method that contains accessibility modifier, execution level modifier, return type, method name and parameter list is called what? Prototype. What is the body? Open bracket, closed bracket, region, displays is called what? Body. What is the logic? The statements placed inside the method is called what? Logic. Very important point, very important point. This method name and parameter list, method name and parameter list both together, method name and parameter list both together is called signature. Many people, many trainers are confusion between signature and prototype. Okay, people are considered prototype and signature both are same. No, complete end to end accessibility modifier to exception list, complete 6 portions, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 portions is called what? Prototype. Only method name and parameter list is called what? Signature. Among all, which part is mandatory? If you want to create method, are all parts I must use? Not required. Accessibility modifier, option. Execution level modifier, optional. Method name, return type, mandatory. Method name, mandatory. Parameter list, optional. Open parenthesis and closed parenthesis, mandatory. Next, throws exception list, optional. Open bracket, closed bracket, ये कौन है? Optional है, mandatory ना? Mandatory. Okay. Now everyone tell me, logic is mandatory or optional? Option. Your wish. You want right? Tell me, is it mandatory to respond in the class or not? Hey, well, when faculty asking response in the class is mandatory or optional? Mandatory. But you make it mandatory? No, it's my wish, my choice. Okay, if I feel I will give answer, otherwise I don't give. So logic is not mandatory. Everybody feeling that logic is mandatory, but not mandatory, it is option. So like variable inside method also, I can ends with semicolon. It is also option. And tell me, I want to create one complete method. Public, static, void, add of, int a comma, int b, throws, illegal, argument, exception, open bracket, int c equal to a plus b, closed bracket. This is the mandatory part, complete syntax of the method creation. Public, accessibility modifier, execution level modifier, return type, method name, parameter list, exception list, and then what? Logic. Semicolon also you can. Okay. And no, sir, I want only mandatory parts to take. Okay. Mandatory parts means what? Why add of open bracket, close it. And a mandate. Return type, method name, parenthesis, body. These are the mandate. Okay, na? Sir, I want to remove this body also, sir. Possible? Possible. You can also remove body also. How can I write? Void add. When you remove body, you must write semicolon. I can remove body also. If I remove body, I must write what? Semicolon. If you write semicolon, I must use one special execution level modifier called what? Abstract. What is called a abstract? I must use abstract. Okay. If I write static, it's called what? Static method. If I write abstract, this is called what? Abstract method. And tell me now, Java supports 2 types of methods. Number 1, what is the first method? Abstract method. If I create a method without a body, it is called what? Abstract method. Second, if I create method with body, is called what? Concrete method. It's called what? Concrete method. Concrete method. Array fully constructor wall is called concrete wall, na? Right? Fully mixed is called what? Concrete. Yeah. Now, chips is separately. Array chips and not eating chips. Right? Stones, small stones are also called chips. So chips separately there, sand separately there, cement separately there, water separately there. Then we call it as what? Abstract. Now I am mixing all together. Then what we call it as what? Concrete mix. So same thing. If you develop a method, then that method is called what? Concrete method. Means body is there, then we call concrete method. Body is there, concrete method. If body is not there, just you created a method with a prototype, ends with body, no body, ends with semicolon, then we call it as what? Abstract method. Repeat again. Whenever you create a method, then there are two types of method. Only prototype ends with semicolon with the keyword abstract, then it's called abstract method. You create method with the body, then we call it as what? Concrete method. समझ में आया? Right? All these points, notes I will show you. Please observe. Daily we are using these words. Okay? I already told you, you have to be fast enough to take, because all points I have explained already. Hey, what happened? Ray, timer endukura. Why you started timer, Ray? Sumar, Subham, Manchak. Subham Manchak. Where is he? He left the class. Subham, are you there? If you don't respond, I will remove you from the class. Respond fast in the chat window. And you cannot join the class. Sorry. I didn't say sorry. I'm asking, why did you start? Why are you playing with the Zoom software? You think it's your side. Your side also, why are you playing with the Zoom software? I'm seriously teaching Java, but you want to play with the Zoom. Why? What do you do with the time? Bolo. Now I got angry. Now I'm canceling the entire class. He did mistake. I am static. Now I have to show my anger on entire batch. No? Static or not? Bolo. Now tell me, the changes he did on Zoom software. Then the change happened to only Shubhama. Change happened to all students. Then what is Zoom? Static or non-static? Static. Okay. Operation. Set a timer. Set a timer is a value or method? Method. It is an operation. Tell me, set a timer is a static method or non-static method? Come on, right? Set a timer is a static method or non-static method? He's what he's saying, sir, I think it's my side only. He was thinking it is a non-static method applied to only Shubham. But it is applied to only Shubhama entire class. Then it is a static method or non-static method? Static method. Now tell me, he stopped the timer. Look at that, there is no timer here. Now then tell me. It is applied to only Shubhama to all the entire class. Entire class. Then set a timer, enable timer, disable timer. The two methods are static or non-static? Static method. Okay, now battery charger not connected. Now laptop is going to shut down. Laptop is going to be shut down now. Static or non-static? Non-static. Now if laptop shut down, who will face the problem? Only I. If only I am facing the problem, then it is non-static. Now this laptop shutdown is applying to what? All students, faculty, after class admin, office boy. Static or non-static? Shutdown is a variable Operation. Variable or method? Method. How many times the method is created? This computer is manufactured with a method called what? Operation called shutdown. How many times the method shutdown is created in this computer? One time. Then every day when battery is low, it is automatically shutdown method is called and shutdown or not? So that is called what? Reusable. Okay? Reusable. What I did? What I did? Connect charger. Tell me, connect charger is a value or operation? Operation. Operation means? Bola. Method. Okay. Static or non-static? According to you, it is static. According to laptop, non-static. There is a class called laptop. Okay. Now, this class laptop is meant for creating multiple laptops. Laptop 1, laptop 2, laptop 3, laptop 4. I connected charger to my laptop 1. Now tell me. Connect charger according to laptop. It is a static or non-static? Non-static. Only it is connected to this laptop. Only it is charging this particular laptop, not all laptops. Clear my point? Tell me. Power supply to the laptops. Internet connection to the laptops is what? Static. Okay, got clarity? Thank you, Rasavam. Today, your mistake made me live example to take. Bach gaya. Enjoy. Batik bhai. Otherwise, today I would remove you from the class. Look at here. Method and types of methods. Need of this chapter. Sadhugan, how many points covered? Variables 20 points I explained. Here also you have 20 points. Please go through once. What is the man? Look at here, all the 20 points completed. First one need of this chapter. What I learned in this chapter? Storing value or performing operation. Performing operation. In previous chapter, types of variables we learned creating a variable and an object for storing single value and multiple values. In this chapter, we will learn creating our own method to develop reusable logic to perform one operation. In this chapter, we will learn creating our own method to develop reusable logic to perform one operation. What is that operation? It can be mathematical operation adding, or it can be business operation deposit. We will also learn developing logic for executing this logic common to all objects. Executing this logic specific to one object. Tell me, I want to execute logic common to all objects means method should be. Bolo. Boys. Execute logic common to all objects. Static or non-static? Executing logic specific to one object. We will also learn declaring a method to force subtype programmer to implement logic. Force subtype programmer to implement logic. If you write logic, any other person required to write logic? No. When you remove logic, then other programmer should write logic for you. No? For example, RBI bank not writing logic to deposit. Then all banks has to write logic for a deposit. Next, vehicle not writing logic for start. Then every vehicle manufacturer should write logic for the start. Na? So if you want to force the other programmer to write logic for your method, create that method as abstract method or concrete method. Abstract method or concrete method. Just now I explained, man. A method without body, without logic is what? Abstract. A method with body is called. I want to allow other programmer to use my logic. The method should be concrete. I want to force other developer to write logic. Method should be abstract. Come on, already you told, again repeating only. Repeat again. I want to force other developer to develop logic for my method. Then abstract. I want write logic, allow other programmer to reuse. Then method should be concrete. I want to allow other programmer to reuse my logic common to all objects. Common, static, logic, concrete. What that method? Static, concrete method. I want to allow other programmer to execute logic specific to one object. Then the method should be non-static, concrete method. Understand? Right? Tell me, how many types of methods you are learning? 2 types. Number 1, abstract, concrete. Concrete, how many types of method? 2 types. What is that? Static and non-static. So, abstract method, concrete method. Under a concrete, static and non-static. I will ask a question. Ready to answer? I want to execute logic without object. Then the method should be I want to develop logic, execute logic without creating object. Then static. Entra me doubt tagli me borra. Without object and evero. Only 2 words, static, non-static. With object. Non-static. Without object. I want to provide memory to variable without object. Static variable. Tell the full answer. I wanted to provide memory, access memory without creating object. Then variable should be static variable. I want to provide memory, access memory by using object. Then non-static. Understand? Next point. I wanted to develop logic and execute logic without object. Logic, I am saying, logic means what? Variable or method? Logic means variable or method? Method. Which method? Tell the full answer. I want to develop logic, execute logic without using object. Then static method. I wanted to develop logic, execute logic with object. Then non-static method. Tell me now. Our class is divided into two concepts. Static members, non-static member. Static variable, non-static variable. Static method, non-static method. Why you guys are looking at the chat window? Picture, are you mad? Why are you looking at chat window? Let me hide. Now look. You give your answer, why you are depending on online students, why? You are excited of what answer they are giving. Repeat again. A class members are divided into two types. What are the two types? Static and static members are used for the static members, two members, static variable, static method. Variable meant for storing value. Method meant for developing and executing logic, right? And tell me, static members are used for storing value and execute logic, common to all objects. Answer. Right side, A point I told, B point you tell. Non-static members are used for storing value, executing logic, common or specific? Specific to one object. Understand? Got clarity here? I repeat again. I want to store value common to all objects. Then which variable I have to create? I want to print the static variable value. You have two options. Write logic inside main method or write logic inside user defined method and call that method. Which is the right choice? I want to print static variable value. You have two options. Option one, directly access that variable and print in the main method, or write that logic inside user defined method and call that method from main method. What is the right choice? User defined method is the right choice. So that we'll get code reusability. What the purpose of this chapter? In this chapter, we will learn creating our own method for developing. Write logic one time and repeat that logic for multiple methods. Understand? Everyone tell me. Think and tell me, okay? Here onwards, main method is out. You want write logic, you must choose only. Fill the gap, fill in the blank. You want write logic. Up to yesterday, you have written that logic inside main method. Today onwards, user defined method. What is the user defined method? Creating our own method. In addition to main method, we are creating our own method. Is called what? User defined method. Repeat again. Till last chapter, we have written logic inside main method. From now onwards, we are going to write logic inside. And is that method automatically executed by JVM? We have to call that method from main method. Pri ekkadi nunchi call cheyalra? Main method e kadra? Nee doubt tagalaya. No sir, I'm a good listener. You tell, I will listen. I don't answer and you will not get job. You have to guess what interviewer is asking. The guesswork is already explained. Repeat again. Once you create variable, is value automatically stored, automatically printed? No. We have to call that variable from main method. Once you create method, is it automatically executed? No. What do you have to do? Call from how many times we can access variable? Any number of times. As many times you access, those many times it is reading and printing the value. How many times we can call method? As many times as we wish. Mallanan chustar, you are expecting me to answer. Already A answer I given, same B answer copy paste for Swami. I repeat again. How many times we can call a method? Multiple times. Tell me now, you created a website with a button called register, login, sign up,
Once a button is created, how many times you can click that button? Any number of times. As many times you click the button, those many times the login operation is happening or not? As many times you click on the button, those many times the product is added to the cart or not? Same thing here also. When you create a method, as many times you call, calling method is nothing but clicking the button. Okay, the website button is nothing but method only, not more than that. Finally, tell me now, very important, what are you learning in this chapter? Creating our own user-defined method. Why are you creating your own user-defined method? Writing logic inside main method is not reusable. I can write logic directly inside the main method. Why are you writing method by your own when you have already main method? The logic I have written inside the main method is not reusable. I must write the same logic again and again for every new object and for every new class. Understand? Then tell me, writing logic again and again is a code redundancy. As a solution, I have to use what? User defined method. Write the logic one time and call that logic again and again. Then what is a method? A sequence of statements placed as a one block with a name and a return type is called what? User defined method. A sequence of statements placed as a one group with a proper name. A sequence of statements placed as a one group with a proper name and a return type is called method. Where you create method? In C language, I can create method directly in the file. In Java, can I create method directly? No. Okay. Now you must create a class. Inside class, you should create method. Observe, class is a one block, method is another block. Can I call? A method is a subblock of a class that has a name and return type. What is the use of method? A method is used for implementing logic to perform one operation. Implementing logic, developing logic, all are same. What type of operation? It can be a mathematical operation or it can be a business operation. So total definition, what is a method? A named block with a return type is called method. A sequence of statements placed as a one group with a proper name and return type is called method. A method is a subblock of a class that has name and return type. A method is used for implementing logic to perform one operation. The operation may be a mathematical operation or maybe a business object operation. Now I'm asking questions again. Ready? Answers are asking from this slide only, not new point. Again repeat. A class contain variables and methods. Repeat again. If you watch, I will repeat question again. It's a time waste to you, to me also. Today I'm expecting to complete this chapter minimum 70%. Okay, na? If you are not responding fast and if you are delaying, I will go tomorrow session and today topic I'll upload the material. You have to study yourself. No change because already 1 month completed. Still, if you are sitting like a doll in the class and watching me, you have a life, you have soul in your body. Use it. Inside a class, what I told you last class, visualize my words. Inside a class means class example, open bracket, closed bracket. What I can create? Variables, methods. What type of variables? Static and non-static. What type of methods? Abstract method, concrete method. What type of concrete method? Static and non-static. Abstract method can be only non-static. It cannot be static. Okay. Now ignore abstract method for some time. Now repeat again. Inside a class, I create variables and methods. Variables and methods based on the static divided into two parts. Static variable, static method, non-static variable, non-static method. Clear? I want to store value, execute logic without object. Which type of variable and method? Static? Full answer, static variable, static method. Next. I wanted to store value and execute logic with object. जोर से बोलो. Fast. अरे मुसले ఎదవల్లారని old useless fellows. Non-static variable, non-static method. Intradi, where is the jor, that energy, where is the energy in the voice? Non-static variable, non-static method. Can't you say that much faster? Repeat again. ముసలోళ్ళ కూర్చొని లూజ్ బాడీస్ వేసుకొని అనాలి మే టోటల్లీ వీ లెర్న్ 4 members. What is that? Static variable, static variable, static method, non-static variable, non-static method. Without object, without object, Gajini's, without object, with object. Okay. Either it is static method or non-static method. Is it automatically executed or we must call? Static method call by using object or without using object? Fast boys. Non-static method we call by using object. If I call non-static method without object, compiler throw error. Clear? I'm asking question from this statement. Okay? Tell me. The operation may be mathematical operation or maybe business object operation. Now tell me now. Mathematical operation, adding two numbers to develop and to call that method, object required or not required? ఆలోచించుకోండి. I develop add method. To call this add method, object required or not required? I have been saying you, object means what? What is the definition of object? Instance of class. Sure. That's why you never understand Java. In next Janma also you never understand. Real world thing, which is an instance of the class. Object is not instance of the class. Object is a real world thing. Non-static variables memory is instance of the class. Object is not instant. That point, if you don't get to your brain, you never understand Java. This confusion will be there lifelong. I repeat, what is an object? A real world thing. Okay. Now, I want to add two numbers. For that, I am developing add method. For developing this add method, to execute this add method, do I require one real world object student, real world object employee, real world object bank account, or I need two integer numbers? Two integer numbers. Can I take those two integer numbers as an argument to the method or not? Then to call this add method, do I require object or not required? Not required. If I create method as a non-static method, I must create the instance of this class. That instance memory creating, it's a time waste and memory waste or not? Because this instance internally contains some value. Are these values using inside add method? No, add method using two arguments. Now tell me, if you are planning to develop mathematical operations based methods, adding two numbers, subtracting two numbers, multiplying two numbers, finding the, multiplying two numbers, finding the number is even or odd, this kind of operations, mathematical operations to develop, method should be static or non-static? Static. If you take method as a non-static, you must create object of the class, which is memory waste. So what you have to take? Static or non-static? Static. Taking method as a static, is it a rule or is it a recommendation? Recommendation. You can create method as static, non-static, your wish. But what is the rule? If you create method as a non-static, you must call by creating object. Addition A1 equal to new addition A1 dot add. What is the use of this addition object? Waste, memory waste. Okay, look at here. I created a class addition add method asking pass two values. Okay, the pass two values adding, storing in C, printing C. Now, addition class developer inside add method, if you directly write logic inside main method, is it reusable or not reusable? Not reusable. If I write the logic inside addition class add method, either in a main method class, M1 method, M2 method, class A, class B, class C, in the entire project anyway, this logic can be reused or not. For calling this add method, if I don't declare this add method as a static, I must create object of the addition class. If I create as a static, then should I create object or not required? Not required. Class name dot addition dot add of 10 comma 20, addition dot add of 30 comma 40, I can pass directly. So tell me, to develop mathematical logic, mathematical operation to perform, do I require static method or not? Sorry, should I create method as static or non-static or static? Creating method as a static rule or recommendation? Recommendation. Read again. The operation may be mathematical operation or maybe a business object operation. To develop mathematical operation, create method as a static. It's a recommendation. Up to now, understand? Now, tomorrow you have to develop so many mathematical based programs, object oriented based programs. Understand? So tomorrow, when you're writing program, if you don't choose correct method creation, madre. Avuna, tomorrow, na, tomorrow I will not come to the class. If you don't come tomorrow class, I will start the new chapter. Whenever you come to the class, that day I will give you assignment. Okay, na? Morning 9 a.m. batch students, Saturday, I told them I will teach you project. Don't miss class. Project, not important, na? Project not required. Okay. So they didn't attend the class Saturday. I started new chapter multi-threading, which is the most horrible chapter of your college. Now Monday they come to the class, one word also not understood. Today I completed chapter, nothing understood. All people come and say, sir, Saturday class I missed any backup video. No backup video. I didn't record also. When I say important, you should come. If your personal things are implemented, that day torture will be there. Okay. Now I'm asking next question. Ready? Deposit, withdraw, current balance, transfer money, find interest. These four methods must execute with object or without object? With object. Why? Deposit in whose account? Withdraw from whose account? Transfer money from whose account to whose account? Whose? Whose means what? Who means what, man? Person. Person means what? Object. This method should execute with the object. Then the method should be static or non-static? Non-static. Sir, how can I decide it's static or non-static, sir? Ask a question. This operation for which object? Addition. Hey, addition is not an object. Create method as what? Static. This method performing for which object? Account 1. For which object? Account 2. Oh, it's for object. Then create method as what? Non-stat. Clarity coming up? That's why I told definitions, concept is very important. What is an object? Real world thing. This method must perform operation for real world thing. Then you have to create method as non-stat. Next question I'm asking. Ready? On, off. On, off. I'm creating two methods. On, off. Static or non-static? How much time you will think, ra, Gajani? ఇంకా జీవితాంతం చూస్తూనే ఉంటారు నాన్న ఆన్ ఆఫ్ స్టాటిక్ నాన్ స్టాటిక్ హౌ డు ఐ నో ఐ గేవ్ యూ క్లూరా whom should I on, whom should I off? Two numbers I on, two numbers I off. Fan on, fan off. Light on, light off. Your burra on, burra off. Burra, brain. Brain on, brain off. Tell me, all your brain on students are off students? Hey, off students, right? Daily I should switch on. It is like, calling bell switch. I am pressing on, again automatically going off. Now tell me, how many types of methods we have? Two types. Static method, non-static method. How can I decide I should choose method as static, non-static? You are performing logic or operation for values. Then create method as static. You are performing operation for object. Then create method as what? Stat. Hey, non-static. Sometimes I'll give wrong answers to see whether you are alert or not. Your ears are properly working or not. Ready? Yeah? One more question I'm asking. Start, move, stop. Huh? Static or non-static? Why? Whom to start? Vehicle. Whom to move? Vehicle. Whom to stop? Vehicle. Vehicle dot start. Vehicle dot stop. Vehicle dot move. Oh, without vehicle, these three methods will not work. So we need one vehicle. One vehicle and a object. Method should be non-static. Tell me. Socho. Method creation as a non-static is a recommendation or rule? Creating method as a non-static, is it recommendation or rule? Recommendation. Okay, recommendation ante I can create it as a static method. If I create method as a static, how to call this method? With object or without object? And tell me, which object you are starting? Once you press start, all vehicles are started. When you stop, all vehicles are stopped. When you move, all vehicles are moved. Okay, na? And tell me, creating method as a non-static, is it optional or ruler? Sorry, is it a recommendation or ruler? Ruler. You must call this method by using one object whom you want to start, move, stop. Are you catching my point? Tell me, Java is a dash type of programming language. The object-oriented programming language, and without object, how can you create the program? How can I say non-static? Which member is executing for object? Static or non-static? Non-static. Object-oriented program, 99.9%, the program goes around static members or non-static members? Non-static variable, non-static method, and object dot calling this member. Static members are main members are helping members are helping members. Saving time and memory, allocating memory and time, saving. That's it. Okay. So repeating again, whenever you are planning to create a class, what you should ask, this value, this logic, common to all objects, static and static. If this value and logic specific to one object, without object, it cannot work. Then what? Non-static. 99% of the class members are static or non-static? Non-static. Only 1% members are static. Creating members as static. Ruler, recommendation. Recommendation for time and memory saving. Creating variable and method as non-static. Ruler, recommendation. Rule. If we create a static, one copy memory available common to all objects, then object orientation will not come. Okay, na? Right. With this explanation, I am moving. Look at that. Deposit method creating as a static or non-static? Non-static. Ruler recommendation, rule, because deposit must be performed for one account balance. Okay. And the next, develop a program to create student with the two instances and print the two instances values without and with method. This is the assignment to everyone. Okay. Write down this program. Today I have started, this is the program. Develop a program. Online students, everyone understand the explanation? Tomorrow class is very, very, very important class. I'm going to teach you tomorrow 4 types of methods. Static, non-static, in static, non-static, private, non-private, void, non-void, parameterized, non-parameterized. So tomorrow, day after tomorrow, 2 classes are very, very important. Please don't miss. by tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. By Friday completed, methods and its related operation fully you should understand. Anything you can do, okay? By Wednesday, Thursday completed, you should be very strong in variables, method, static, non-static, everything. Develop a program to create student object with the two instances, class student S1, S2, and print the two instances values without and with method, without and with method. First, this code is without method. Now, without method, two times you are writing. It's a code redundancy. Without method, we must repeat logic again and again for each object. Hence, it is code redundancy. Can you please write here? We must okay, now here I want you write like this. We must write logic and modify. Must write and modify. Okay, in these three lines, you write this one. Hence, this logic is code redundant. Hence, it is called code redundancy. Completed? Okay, tomorrow we will write the logic, how to use methods. Okay.
I want you try to write the method, okay? How to create a method? These are the points. All these points I'll upload. How to create method just now I explain. Syntax for creating method, which is optional mandatory. Full method, full syntax method, partial syntax method. Can I create method without body? Then method terminology just now I explained and the detailed notes. Okay, develop a program with a method to show all above parts. This is the method. Add. Explain the main method with all above parts. And tell me, everyone answer. What is this is called? Prototype. Open bracket, closed bracket is called body. S open and high is called logic. Now main of string array args is called signature. String array args is called parameter. String array, parameter type, parameter name. And next, how to call that main method? By passing argument. New string of 0 is called what? Argument. Variable, parameter, value, argument. Then method name, return type, execution level modifier, accessibility modifier. Then method terminology completed. Common words used in method creation. Declaration, definition, accessing. Method creation with only method prototype, declaration, also called abstract method. Method creation with body, open bracket, closed bracket, is called method definition, also called what? Concrete method. Just by creating method, are they executed? No. Output is only, hi, how are you? Main start, main end. Now, if you want to execute M1, M2 method, you must call method. For calling method, I must use method name parenthesis. It is a method calling. Then control will go to method body, logic executed, return back. M2 method is not executed because we have not called. These are the points I completed in today class. So I'll upload all these slides. Please try to write notes, practice. Okay, 9 to 11, 2 hours. It will take time for you to write notes and practice and come. Okay, thank you. That's all for today class. See you all tomorrow. Yeah, ask buddy, Gajanan. Yeah, in tomorrow class, I'll explain your questions. 2 minutes, I think.